Good morning, counselors. Kick off your Crocs and sit back. It's time for the Camp America Rest Hour.
So jingle. We could just do the jingle ourselves. That could be our new jingle. Hello.
Hello everyone. Welcome
Hi.
back. Episode 2 of the
episode
Camp
2.
America Rest Hour podcast.
It's so exciting. I can't believe we're on the second episode already. It feels like only yesterday we filmed the
It feels
first
like
one.
literally yesterday we recorded the first one. You keep saying
I
filmed.
keep saying filmed. It's
We're
because
not-
we're not used to just being on our voices.
Yeah, put that down.
My
It's
mum
good.
always said I had a
Stop
face for
rustling.
radio.
Put it
That's
down,
good.
stop rustling.
I'm sorry, I'm holding a piece of paper.
Oh,
It
she's
must
so
be
annoying.
nervous.
Oh, surprise.
Oh, surprise.
Yeah, so welcome back to the second episode.
Second episode.
What are we going to be talking about today? Oh no, introduce yourself.
Today. Oh, introduce myself. So hi, I'm Zoe. I've been to camp for 5 summers, and I go to an all-girls camp in Wisconsin.
My name is Joe. I've been to camp for 2 summers. I go to a private camp in Pennsylvania, Trails End. What's your camp called?
Birch Trail Camp for Girls.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
very
really
nice.
camp.
Theme there, isn't there? Trails.
Trails, yeah, we love trails. Lots of trails on
Yes,
camp.
we do. So what we're going to be talking about today, Zoe?
So today we're going to be talking about life on camp.
Nice. What does that involve?
So we're going to be talking about the day-to-day running of camp, like what a day at camp looks like. And we're also going to be talking about some traditions, because there's a lot of crazy
Weird
things
stuff,
and weird
yeah.
things that happen at
Yeah.
camp. So we're going to be talking about lots of things like that. But to start off with, was camp what you expected it was going to be?
Well, yeah, it was kind of like the films, isn't it? Like it is like the films. Like I've seen.
Like Camp Rock?
Yeah, like Parent Trap,
Parent
Camp
Trap.
Rock. Like what's
Yeah.
that horror film as well? It wasn't
Oh, I
anything
don't know, horror film. I was just thinking of like Beaver Falls.
Do you know?
and
I was gonna say it's exactly like Wet Hot American Summer.
Wet Hot American
Well,
Summer.
I mean, not exactly because
And
it's
what's
not
the
as
other one? The TV
it's not as
show?
Randy. Is that word?
Yeah, Randy. Yeah, it's not like
not
that.
like Wet Hot American Summer. But it is funny. Camp's
Yeah.
kind of it is.
It looks like the movies.
Like it, yeah. I was
Like
gonna
in
say.
terms of like the cabins and the rusticness, like Camp Rock, like the cabins, like that is literally what camp looks
Yeah.
like. It was filmed on a camp that
Well,
we
so
actually we worked with the
Wet
camp.
Hot American Summer was filmed around the corner to me.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. And they were like going to local town and stuff, which is
Oh,
really weird.
wow.
I can't remember what camp it is, but shout out that camp.
Yeah.
Parent Trap as well. We worked with that camp. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm like 90%
it's actually
sure.
real camp, so it does look like summer
Yeah.
camp. The only thing that I would say is different is that you just kind of run wild and there's no counsellors there. Like, I've never seen a counsellor in
a film,
Camp,
no.
in
In
Camp
Camp
Rock.
Rock.
There's no counsellors. It's just teenagers running around.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it
Joe
is, isn't it,
Jonas
actually?
on
Joe
a
Jonas.
boat singing a song. There's no
Camp Rock.
Jonas Brothers at camp.
No, well, there might be.
They might be.
Yeah, there might be. You might find the Nick to your whatever her name was, Demi Lovato.
The
Their
Demi-
name, sorry.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, don't know. But yeah, camp's kind of like it's similar to the films, but like it's a lot more organised.
A lot more organised, I would say.
And it's got a lot more to it than just
Yeah.
singing and dancing like
Yeah.
in Camp Rock. It's good.
The
yeah.
little fencing scene, you know, when they're like fencing, like that is
That
literally
is
my
literally-
camp.
Well, yeah, it could
They
be.
do,
it
no,
could
they
be,
do
yeah.
that at my camp. Like they do fencing, yeah. But,
Wow.
but it looks like that as well. Like it looks like the same
Yeah. Just someone fall in
situation.
a trough of water.
No,
And
we
there's
didn't. Lindsay
twins.
Lohan.
I had no
yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, there are
God.
twins at my camp, but
But
no.
no, camp is similar to the films. Like
It is like
it really
films.
is similar. It's just a lot more. There's a lot more to it than the films.
Yeah.
And,
I
like,
think-
you get a lot more downtime as well at camp. Than,
Yeah, you do get a lot more.
Not
I
a
think
lot, like, you get
more
more.
of what I found out about camp, like the films was great and I learned a lot about that, but I think a lot more of what I learned was like from YouTube and like I watched a lot of vlogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If there was a Camp America podcast, I would have listened to that.
Yeah, I would have.
I think that's more where I found out about camp. Like, yeah,
It's
social
more formal,
media.
like not formal. That sounds wrong, but it's more like informative. Is that the
Yeah,
right word?
informative. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
other
totally
people's
find-
experiences.
yeah.
I like to hear the truth. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'd rather hear that than like Camp Rock.
Yeah.
Although shout out Camp Rock, great film.
No,
Like,
brilliant film. I'm
yeah.
definitely going to go home and watch.
Or is it a
The
musical?
second one, I love the
would you say
second
it's a
one.
musical because there's songs in it.
Camp Rock. Camp Rock.
I don't know. There's a great TikTok actually of me doing dance to that.
There
so
is a great TikTok
go,
of
go
Joe
follow us
dancing
on
to
TikTok
Camp
and
Rock.
find that.
But we've actually got some of your stories about camp.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was good, wasn't it?
That was good. Yeah.
So we asked for some of your stories last week. I don't know if you remember the cucumber sandwich, but I've been
Sorry,
I've-
can I just The way you say cucumber is bizarre. I was going to say it last week, but I forgot.
Oh no.
You say cute-cumber?
Oh, well, it is a cute cumber.
You say it again. Say cucumber.
I don't want to now. I feel self-conscious.
Sorry, I interrupted
cucumber.
that.
Yeah, but we asked for your stories last week and they were brilliant. And we've got some more stories this week, actually. I've got a couple of emails of people's stories at camp. So I've got one here. I'm going to change the name, actually, because I'm going to keep it anonymous because this one is really funny. So when I arrived at camp and I was told about camp names, I was so excited about thinking of a name for myself. Everybody else was slowly choosing their name or being given names, and nothing was sticking for me. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah,
I've never had a nickname.
Camp name. Joe, I suppose. My name's not
Zoe.
even Joe.
You can't really make
It's really weird. My name's
out of
Mark, actually.
Stop. We've got easy names.
Yeah, Zoe and Joe. Yeah.
So after a few...
Actually, no, sorry.
Oh,
You have a
interrupting
nickname.
me.
Z-Dog.
Joe calls me Z-Dog, but yeah, Joey together, arguably we could be.
Cringe.
Cringe. So after a few weeks, I was certain I just wasn't going to get a camp name, and I was devastated. Then came one final staff training day, and the biggest game of all, capture the flag with all the staff. Obviously, I had to win, and that meant not going to the toilet during the game.
Oh, God. Hopefully, it isn't where it's going.
I really needed to go.
Hopefully for a win, not poo. Wow.
Anyway, we were down to the last few. My heart was pounding, and I was so ready to win. Someone came rushing through the trees at me, and I dashed through the woods as fast as I could to evade them. In hindsight, I should have nipped off to the loot early in the game when I had the chance, because I weed myself in my final little dash. Oh, we've all been there at camp. I weed myself at camp.
I don't think I've done it at camp, but I have wet myself.
Mine is I get the giggles so bad, and at camp everything is funny.
Yeah.
So I have definitely sat down at camp and had a little bit of a wee. I think a lot of girls can relate to me there. Anyway, I returned to the group in the open field in fits of laughter, and someone shouted in their American accent, "Rebecca tinkled." Someone else says, "Oh my gosh, Tinkle." And from that day, my camp name was Tinkle, shortened to Tink. Oh. It was funnier having to relive the story to new staff members when I went back to camp a couple of years later.
I mean, do you know what? The nickname's really actually quite a good nickname.
Tinkle's a really cute name, like Tink.
Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, that's actually...
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of embarrassing. Not embarrassing, but it's like...
it's
funny,
so camp.
Funny way... Oh, it's so camp, isn't it?
Yeah, that you'd rather win the game than go for a win.
Yeah, 100%.
That's me. Yeah, there's so many activities at camp where I'm like, I have to win.
Yeah, no,
I would rather
100%,
have a little tinker.
I'm not very competitive, but I would rather wet myself than lose. No, I don't think I would.
That's really funny.
That is good.
Do you have any more emails?
Yeah, I do. Are you ready to hear this lovely story?
I am ready. I love hearing stories.
So someone said, it was my first time working at a summer camp in upstate New York. I had taught sailing before many times in the UK. However, the boats I was working with here were very different, but eventually I got used to them. I believe it was the first or second week, and I had to take 6 or 7 kids out on a keel boat. Don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's...
I don't know anything about boats.
Neither do I. If you know anything about boats, this is the story for you. I wasn't too comfortable having not sailed that type of boat before, but equally, I doubted much could happen, as in theory, this boat shouldn't capsize because of a heavy counterweight. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh,
when you put a question like that...
Yeah, when you're asking what's the worst that can happen.
Something quite bad, I guess.
Yeah.
The first day went pretty well with no issues apart from the handling. I knew it would be an issue as there was no online resources where I could check if this class of boat was correctly rigged. Our head of sailing said it should be fine and we'd review the boat at the weekend when we did our repairs to the fleet. Day 2, however, was completely different. It was windier, but nothing I hadn't seen before when teaching back home. One child was particularly scared. It actually says sacred, but I'm assuming they mean scared. One child was particularly scared about capsizing, so I told her because of a 300 to 400 kilo counterweight that we'd stay upright no matter what. Okay.
Yeah.
Reassuring.
Great. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. No less than 2 to 3 minutes later, we had to tack, which means turning the boat through the direction of the wind.
Oh, we learnt something.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there you go. As the main sail swapped sides as normal, the jib, smaller sail at the front, wasn't changed over.
Tacked, jib, I'm learning.
Yeah, there you
Maybe
go.
I'll be a sailing instructor this year.
That's all you need to know, I think, isn't it?
I think so.
Because of this, the boat began to tip heavily, so I tried to loosen the main sail, but it was too late. In a matter of seconds, the boat completely tipped... It's not funny. The boat completely tipped over.
They tipped over.
After the water came in from the side. That's quite scary, isn't it?
So they were on the boat with the kids?
With 6 or 7 kids.
And the boat
just
tipped
accounts-
over?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't know what to do.
Well, no, I've got
What
no.
do you do? Flip it back over?
I guess
Swim?
so. So he says, "Oh, swim." After a quick head count, making sure everyone was okay. There you go. That's the difference
Head
between.
count.
Make
That's
sure
why
the kids
he's
are
the
there.
instructor and
Not
why
us,
not.
yeah, exactly. After a quick head count, making sure everyone was okay, I remember looking at our head of sailing with reciprocal expressions of utter shock at how on earth this boat managed to capsize. That was really nice literature then. That was
Yeah,
really
it was
well
brilliantly
written.
written.
We didn't know, because of the counterweight, if it would sink, if we'd have to abandon it, or if I might get fired so early on.
I thought you said fine.
Fired, no, fired. If I might get fired so early on in camp. Thankfully, we managed to get the boat upright, but I thought my time was over. You actually...
Yeah, you've capsized the
you-
boat with kids on
yeah,
it.
it's a
You're,
bit-
you're
yeah.
going to be a little bit
Bit
nervous.
panicked.
Yeah.
The director of the water sport activities told me, to my surprise, "You're not a true sailor unless you have a capsize like that." It was that day that I also learned that the last capsize of that class of boat at the camp was in 1999.
Wow. At least you'd be remembered.
Yeah, well, the camp would now do capsize drills for that boat at the start of the season because of me. Eventually, after finding pictures of the boat from previous years, we managed to rig the boat properly, and I fell in love with sailing it.
That's brilliant. I hope they named the boat after them.
Well, they'd have to, wouldn't
Yeah,
they?
you'd have to, or at least the capsize
At least
drill.
a capsize drill. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the so-and-so drill.
Yeah, like the Steve drill. I don't know.
Shout out Steve, yeah.
Yeah,
This is
whatever
the
his
Steve-
name is. The John drill.
The John drill. The Dominic drill.
Yeah, every time
Speaking
they
of
capsize,
drills.
they have to shout the name.
Dominic! That would be funny, wouldn't it?
That'd be so funny.
Oh, sorry, someone's just done a Dominic over
I've
there.
actually got a funny. I went sailing once. Okay, I've been at camp 5 years. I've only ever been sailing once, and it's one of
Right.
our biggest activities at camp. And last year I went, and basically I was in charge of the dagger board.
What
and
is
I
that?
don't know if you know what that is, right? Basically, it's a job they give to the person that can't sail and isn't capable of learning how to sail.
Look at you.
And my job basically was essentially I sat on the back of the boat, cross-legged, trying not to fall off, just holding a piece of wood. I didn't have to do anything with it. I just had to hold it. And then basically
Did you mess it up?
I think I did mess it up actually because people got annoyed at me. But all I had to do was just like put it in a hole. It was like, do you know that game when you're little and you have to put the square into the square hole?
Yeah, but they all
with
fit through the square.
bricks.
It could be
It was
the triangle. that goes through
literally
the
that. I
square.
had a rectangle piece of wood and I just had to put it through the rectangle hole. And
When-
that was my whole job.
Why did you have to do that?
Well, I wanted to go sailing, but I
made
think
you
they
have
were
a
just
job.
trying to involve me.
That was quite nice.
It was nice, but also everyone else on the boat was under the age of 10 and I was on the boat holding the piece
I
of
don't think I've
wood.
ever been sailing at camp.
It's really fun.
We do a lot of
Just
stuff
go.
at camp, like on the lake, but never sailing.
No,
well, I think I
sailing's
do sailing,
brilliant.
but I just think I've ever been.
There wasn't any wind either. I just
Well,
we
I was
didn't
going
get
to say,
very
do you
far.
have wind on lakes?
Oh yeah, it gets really windy at my camp, so
Does it?
they do so much sailing, so many things like that. But
Interesting.
yeah, they love sailing, but obviously I just
Oh.
wasn't cut out for the
You're
boat
not good enough.
life.
Were you just the dagger boy or whatever it's called?
Daggerboard is the.
I've never heard
we
of
don't know enough about boats.
No. But I tell you what, we do know enough about camp. So let's
camp, yeah,
go,
we
let's
do.
talk about
Yeah,
camp.
well,
Yeah.
day in the life at camp.
Yeah, so that story leads quite nicely into a day in the life at camp. Because no 2 days at camp are the same.
No,
like,
never.
As you could be doing the same activity, like this person sailing,
Yeah.
but both of his days were different. Like
Yeah.
one day he's absolutely fine, next day
Next day
he's
he's
capsizing the
capsized.
kids. So yeah, so day in life at camp. Camp is very full on. Like we said it in the last
so
episode,
full on.
but it's a busy time.
Busy time. Yeah, it's almost like being back at school as well, in the sense
Mm-hmm.
of like your day is structured.
Yeah.
So like you wake up at the same time every day. You have your meals at the same
Yeah.
time. And you have like activity periods.
Yeah.
Every camp's different, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
But the majority of camps will like be scheduled. So like in the morning you'll do so many activities.
ABC, lunch.
In the afternoon you'll do so many
XYZ, yeah.
activities.
Yeah.
What kind of activities do you do at your camp?
Oh, we do loads of things. So like obviously water is a massive thing at camp. Like
Yeah.
pool, we've got pools.
See,
We've
we
got
don't
a
have a pool. We
Oh,
just
do you
have a
not?
lake.
We've got a pool
Yeah.
and a lake, a really lovely pool as well. But yeah, so we've got a pool and a lake. So like the kids will be in either one pretty much every other day. So it's like one day that like normally how it works is boys' side will be in the pool and girls will be in the lake.
Yeah.
Next day they swap.
Oh, that's
and then they swap
fun.
again, they swap again. So like they're constantly doing either pool or lake.
Yeah.
And then on the lake you've got different things. Like I think the best thing at camp, my favourite thing to do at camp is the aqua park.
Oh, yeah,
Like
you have
ours
a big
is
aqua park.
it's brilliant. It's like this big inflatable, obstacle course on water. So they've got.
It's like, do you remember Cheaper by the Dozen when they had the big trampoline?
We've got big trampoline. Yeah,
That's what I think
great
of.
film as well. That is.
Yeah.
Cheaper by the Dozen too. Yeah, but yeah, it's literally like that. So like you've got all these massive inflatables and like you just kind of run around with the kids and like race and like just.
That's so
like, we've got a big.
fun.
It's called the Cliff, and like it's like a couple of meters high. You jump off that into the lake. Like
Do you have a blob?
yeah.
The blob is so funny. So it's
I
like,
don't know if I should say this story. I've got a really
go
good
on.
story.
Should we tell them what it is? It's basically just
Yeah,
like
go
a
on.
bag of air, and someone sits on the end of it, and if someone jumps on the other end, it catapults the
And they
person
fly off.
into the air. Yeah.
Yeah. This summer just gone, there was a kid. He was only 12. I honestly can't remember. And I'm quite a big person, right?
Yeah. You're quite tall.
I'm tall.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of me. Do you know what I mean? And that sounded weird, didn't it? And there was a kid, and he sat on the end of the blob, and he asked me to blob him. I was like, oh, do you know what? Yeah, I'll do it. This kid's only tiny. Not tiny.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a big. Like, it was a
Smaller
small.
than you.
A lot like a little boy. Like.
Yeah.
And so I blobbed him.
You blobbed him. I'm sorry, this is so funny.
I blobbed him.
I blobbed him.
Yeah,
You
well,
blobbed
I
him.
blobbed him. So I was
Yeah.
so he was sat on the end of the blob, and I was stood on the jumpy step thing, whatever you want to call it.
There's so many technical terms happening
Yeah.
right now. I can't.
Yeah, so I was sat on the jumpy step, and I jumped onto the end of the blob,
blob.
and the kid got blobbed, so he went like flying up in the air, and I watched him, and he must have done like 2 somersaults, and he landed he was all right, but he landed. And I panicked and was like, "Oh my god!"
So you blobbed yourself to go save
No,
him?
so I like slid off the blob. Like I've never swum so fast. Swam.
No.
And I swam over to this kid, and he was like obviously the wind got knocked out of him. He looked up at me and he goes, I was like, "Oh, are you okay?" I was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, should we do it again?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, I'm not taking responsibility for that ever
That's
again.
crazy.
Yeah, that's like I think my favorite activity on camp is
That's
like the
a
aqua
really
park.
fun one.
What's yours?
Oh, I don't know. I
Tie dye.
No, okay. So my first job at camp was I was in charge of the climbing wall.
Nice.
So I was obviously like one of the outdoor instructors, like quite sporty, and I love the climbing wall. Like that is probably my favorite
Climbing
activity.
wall's good laugh,
But
yeah.
I used to tell the kids my favorite activity was tie dye, and I don't know why. It was just fun. They come up to me and be like, "Yeah, you actually don't like the climbing wall. I'm all about the tie dye," which I do also love. But no,
tie-dye's brilliant.
climbing is like where I started. That's probably my favorite activity. at
Yeah,
camp.
climbing is a good one. Like we've got, I don't know if it's the same for you, but you've got proper like we've got
a good
plywood
climbing-
rock climbing wall, and then we've got like
Do you have
course.
you have high ropes?
We have a high ropes course
Yeah.
as well, which is really good. Really long zip wire as well, which goes from like the top all the way down. It's brilliant.
So we don't have that, but we do have a really great like
Yours is really
climbing
good.
program. Like we do a big trip program because we're in Wisconsin,
Oh,
so
nice,
they go and
yeah.
they climb over Lake Superior, which is the biggest freshwater lake in the world. Fun fact.
What
near
is it
my
called?
camp.
Lake Superior.
Yeah,
Wow.
we go there and we do climbing over it. So that's
That's
really
fun.
fun. Do you know what other activity I've always wanted to try but
Go on.
never have? Water skiing.
Oh yeah, I've never
It's
done that.
huge at camp,
Yeah, it's
but
big, innit?
I've never had a go at it. So if you have a chance to do that this summer, let me know
Yeah.
how it goes. Because
Yeah.
I really want to have a go at water
I might
skiing.
see if I can get on it.
Yeah,
we do like
it looks
tubing
really
and
hard.
stuff. I don't-
Tubing.
Everything happens at the lake. There are loads of activities.
Loads of lake activity. I'm trying to think of. Do you know what we
Paddleboarding?
do that's not a lake activity
No.
that I was telling you about
Go on.
actually? Trample.
Oh
So
my!
this
yeah, that
is
sounds
very
fun.
specific to my camp, but I don't know. Do you know the game Foursquare?
You told me about it. I've never played
So
it.
it's
I know
like
it.
you're in 4 different squares essentially, like in a cross shape.
Yeah.
And you throw the ball over a net,
Right.
and you like have to catch it. And if the person drops the ball, they're out.
It's called Newcomb. We call it. We don't.
Oh.
We just play it over a volleyball net.
Well, we play it on trampolines.
That's fun.
And it is the craziest game. Like the
What is
youngest
it?
kids get really into it, and
I'm
there's
not
like
surprised.
rules. Like there's kings, queens.
God.
You have to sit on your bum. Like there's so
Really?
many rules. Yeah, but it's really fun.
That
like,
sounds like a good
and
one.
they're like proper trampolines, like
Well,
the
like
big ones.
Olympic
Yeah, like
style.
Olympic
That's
trampolines.
fun. We don't have any trampolines at camp.
So fun. I love the trampolines.
If you're listening, buy us some trampolines.
It's
But
good. You know what we did?
I used to be
We-
really good at trampoline. By the
Did
way.
you?
Yeah, I used
You
to
look
dive
like
in.
you'd like. Yeah, you used to do diving.
Yeah.
We go sneak onto trampolines in the middle of the night, and
Do you?
yeah, we go stargazing on the trampolines.
Oh,
Joe
nice.
laughs every time I say
don't know why,
stargazing,
just
but it's
funny.
it's really nice.
It's funny. Yeah, no, I think every camp is different, and like it's so
Yeah,
hard.
Every camp is different.
Like obviously we're just talking from personal experience and like reading emails. A lot of camps have different programs and stuff like that. But most camps will have lake, some sort of water, some sort of high ropes course, like climbing. And then there's also like
even like at special needs camp, sorry to interrupt, but like special needs camps are amazing because they still do the same activities but they adapt them, and it's like incredible what they do.
Exactly.
But
no, I was gonna say that there's a lot of outdoorsy stuff, there's also a lot of indoorsy stuff. So like we have a really big arts and like crafts program, like media,
drama,
so like,
they always
drama.
do, like,
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah. We're laughing.
Sorry.
I don't know, some of my camp plays have been iffy, I'm not gonna lie.
I'll be honest. Honestly, so my camp did Shrek. The youngest kids.
Shrek.
Or, was it youngest kids? Yeah, the youngest kids did Shrek. And it was the best thing I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, it was so Shrek was brilliant. I can't remember his name, but he was really good Shrek. And
his name was Shrek?
Well, it's Shrek, yeah. And Donkey was brilliant. Like Fiona was really good, cracking voice, and she was like 10.
Oh, that's fun.
But it was honestly like, do you remember? Have you seen Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, when they do the play and he's a tree.
The tree, yeah, I love that.
It was literally like out of a film. One point, so the set there was. It's so funny. So there was it really made me laugh. So there was like a bit of set that came on and off, right? So they go like full out, they make sets and stuff like they're set designers and whatever. And this girl, she was 11, 12, and she was like the stagehand, like so she was in like all in black, like would run on, like change a bit of the scenery and run off. Yeah. And there was one point and the scenery was on and she was stood behind it and they like dropped a bit to make it a different scene, right? It was really clever. And the scenery just fell and she was just stood there like this.
Stood on the stage.
On the stage. Everyone started howling with laughter, like proper cracking up. And she just like, literally looked at the audience, like her mouth dropped and she like ran off stage.
Oh, bless her.
It was so funny. Like it was honestly like the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, that's incredible.
But like some of the plays are quite good.
Yeah,
like,
kids doing drama is just fun, isn't it?
Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief.
Oh, that's a good one. We did Annie at mine last year. That was
classic.
Interesting.
Yeah, the oldest kids did Mean Girls.
Mean Girls, that's a good one.
That was good.
Wow.
They were really good, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many activities.
I think, do you know what? So I did photography on camp for 2 years, right? I think it's a really underrated place.
Yeah, you love photography.
Yeah, I think it's really nice because it's like you get to see camp through the kids' perspective. Because they're like,
oh, that's really nice.
We give them cameras and like, just pretty much like trust them to go, right? Like obviously counselors go with them and stuff. But you just kind of give them a camera and like we teach them a little bit about it and then like have set schedules as well. But a lot of the time it's like we kind of just wander about as a group and like just have a chit chat, like have a gossip like about what's going on, like, and I'm just like, we'll just take pictures of like, so like we play games and stuff, but then a lot of the time like the kids don't want to do that because they come to photography for like a bit of a switch off, really, like a bit of a relax, because obviously they've like been full on like running about at football, then playing like hockey and like doing this and gymnastics, and then they've got like more running about afternoon, but then they come to somewhere like photography, even video, like arts and crafts, all that, and they kind of just switch off a little bit. And but yeah, photography I think is so lovely because like some of the kids are really talented, like really good at photography.
I think that's with like all things that can like sharing your passion and like you're inspiring the next generation of people who are gonna do that.
And
like,
do you know what? There was a kid right at camp, and he didn't really want to do a lot of stuff, but he was a really lovely kid. He came to photography, and that was his zen, and like. His group leader would be like, can you just come? I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Like, you just come around with me. And that would just be him, like, switched off. Yeah. And he would relax. And, like, his dad, like, I saw him when he got off the bus and stuff like that. Like, and his dad was like, oh, thank you so much. Blah, blah, blah. Like, and I was like, oh, it's all right. He's just really good at it. I was like, and he was really good. And, like, and then we do editing and stuff like that. You made a really good connection with him. Yeah, really nice kid. Really nice kid. But, like, that's, like, I think really one of the things of camp is there is something for everyone. And every kid as well.
Everyone and every kid,
Like, it's not all running about and jumping and playing sports. It's like you've got the arts and crafts, you've got culinary, like cooking, like you've got
so many things.
What else do you do? Like arts and crafts is kind of like lovely.
I love the art. I told you tie-dye.
Yeah, tie-dye's fun.
Going to arts and crafts.
Here's a tip: bring a plain white t-shirt. So you can tie-dye it. Yeah. Because that is really good fun.
That is like a good quality cotton t-shirt to tie-dye. It's a really fun thing
Don't
to do.
use like horrible colours though, because
you made a gross one.
No, I didn't make it.
Someone made one for you, but it was a camper.
No, it was counsellor. She was the arts and crafts specialist, and it was blue and purple. I think I've shown you a picture of it. No, mine was really nice. Oh, okay. Then the other counsellors, my co's that were doing theirs at the same time. Yeah. they came out looking like vomit. Like it was like
Oh, no.
orange and green and like, it was horrible.
Do you know what though? I'd rock that at camp.
Well, yeah, they did. And I was
Horrible
like,
t-shirts.
you look ridiculous. And they're like,
Yeah.
I don't care. I was
Yeah,
like, fair
don't
enough.
care. It's so fun.
Yeah, but no, day in the life at camp every day. No 2 days are the same.
No, no
like
2 days are
literally
the
no 2 days
same.
are the same. Like,
No.
and I think another thing, like throughout the day, you have schedules and you'll go to different activities. Like if
Yeah.
you're a general counsellor, you'll kind of follow the kids around. But
Get
if you're a
to every
specialist,
activity if you're a general.
yeah, if you're a specialist, you kind of go to your area and just like people come to you,
Yeah.
and you sort of like teach them and do activities with them. But if you're a general, you get to go and try everything out.
But that's not just the day
No,
at camp.
no.
So like last year, my job at camp was evening program director.
Yeah.
Which evening programs at the end of the day at camp is like one of the best things about camp.
Insane.
It's so fun. So it's basically that they get the whole camp
Like after dinner
together.
as well.
After dinner, the
End of
whole
the
camp
night.
will come together before everyone goes to bed, and you'll do an activity, and it changes every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
What kind of programs?
So we
you
do. So it's not always like all of camp.
It can be like a big group of people.
It can be. So ours is like we do like every Friday night all of camp,
Yeah.
and then like when it's like the plays and stuff, everyone goes to there.
Yeah.
But then we do like group nights. So
Yeah.
like just the kids in our group, and sometimes we do co-ed group nights for the boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
So we do like in my first summer, every group night we just did bingo.
Bingo.
It was good the first time, but I was like, can't like
You
we
think
need
of some
something
more
different.
creative ones.
Yeah, so we did bingo, but like this summer was a lot better. We got to do like a lot more. So like we watched for a group night. We watched a baseball game. It was like Yankees Mets.
Did you
or
not
something
do
like
any
that.
weird ones? Like
Well, no,
our
I'm-
kids would have like little obsessions, and we do weird little
We
group
did-
nights.
Boating and s'mores was a good one.
Yeah, what's
Like, that's like you literally have s'mores and go in like canoes and stuff like that, which is quite fun. Like not at the same time. Like the kids are like not meant to get wet, but obviously they all jump in.
Oh, I think
and it's-
you've got normal kids.
Yeah.
My kids
I think so.
were a bit strange
Hyper.
sometimes. I know I love them to pieces, but I had the youngest kids, and sometimes they get like a bit of an obsession. So we'd make a group night, an evening program
Out
for
of
things
that
they were.
obsession. Oh,
And
God.
we went on a cabin trip, and we saw a group of Amish people, and we decided to do a group night themed around it.
That's kind of fun. though.
Which was really fun. And what else did we do? We did a pirate night, but all the
Okay.
kids came in the strangest pirate costumes you've ever seen. This is the
I love-
youngest campers, by the way.
Yeah.
This is when I had
This is the
8-year-olds.
15-year-olds.
No, the oldest
They
kids.
love it as well.
We did really good ones. Like they did battleships.
Yeah, we've done stuff like that before. Yeah,
But it was like
yeah.
a big one. Messy nights. We've done
Oh,
like
don't
dress
talk
up,
to me.
dress up your counsellor. Like one where they're like you have to like dress up the counsellors. You know, like when you
Yeah.
give them crazy hairdo nights.
Yeah,
and
we do like a lot of different things as
there's
well.
so
like-
many different things.
Yeah.
Campfires is a good one
Campfires
for
are
an
nice,
evening
yeah.
program.
Yeah, campfires are
Um,
really nice actually. Like they're just
I love
so
evening
chill.
programs.
But I'm trying to think of what other ones we do.
You must do some crazy ones. There's so many fun
we do
ones.
Crazy Frog. That was like a day.
What's
it wasn't an
Crazy
evening
Frog?
program.
Crazy Frog Day.
No, it was like I don't know. It was bizarre. It was brilliant. They just played like so basically boys side and girls side split up, right? So we did the girls in the morning, boys in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and like we didn't see each other, so we didn't tell the other group what Crazy Frog was.
Yeah.
So like everyone took their shoes off, put them in the back of a truck, like not a truck, like like a truck,
Yeah.
like a camp. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, but like everyone put their shoes in this car, and they drove onto the sports fields,
Okay.
chucked everyone's shoes, like they weren't tied together. Your shoes were separate, so I
Just
chucked
threw them
everyone's
off.
shoes all over the field, right? Then we all got into our bunks, and they started playing Crazy Frog. Ring,
Yeah.
ring, 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 ring. And so as soon as they started playing that, everyone runs, and you have to run and find your shoes and pair them. So,
That's
but they-
so crazy. Is
but they're
everybody
not-
got the same shoes?
well, like all the kids have the same shoes. They've also got the names in them.
Yeah.
But so I was running, and I found one of my shoes, and then I couldn't find the other one anywhere. And like all my kids were back, like waiting for me. I was like, right, I went, come back out, find my shoe.
Find your shoes.
And there was a kid stood in the corner from another group, and he had my shoe. So I ran over to
Stole your
this kid,
shoe.
and I went, I don't think that will fit you, mate, will it? Like this. He looks at me, he goes, and like panics. I made a face, so you couldn't see, but I made a
He
face.
did make a face.
And he was like laughing with me. So
Yeah.
because I had a bit of banter with him before.
Yeah.
And so he like threw my shoe. So I got my shoe, put it on, ran,
Yeah.
and then like after that, your kids like basically you get your bunk and you'll have to run around
Yeah.
and find ping pong balls.
Ping pong balls.
Yeah,
that's
and they're all
funny.
coloured differently, but you don't know what
Yeah.
the colours mean, how many points they're worth.
Oh,
So
okay.
my group had like so many ping pong balls. We were the first group back.
Yeah.
Had so many, and then most of them were worth like 1 point, whereas like one group found a gold ball, whatever it was, it was worth like
gold
1,000
ball, of
points.
course, yeah.
So we didn't win, but yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
such a
for
fun
us.
game. I might take that to my camp
Yeah,
this year.
take it. Yeah, if anyone wants to take
Yeah.
it, you're more than welcome.
It's fun to do like little
Yeah.
ideas from other people that have been to camp.
It's really
take them
good.
to Camp.
Yeah, messy Mondays. Oh, that's
That's
horrible.
that's fun.
They chuck chocolate syrup and ice
Really?
cream and gross.
Wow.
And then we all like
fun.
jump in the lake afterwards to clean
Yeah,
ourselves.
we have some food.
And you're
fights,
like,
fun.
I am not clean. I've just
No.
got out. I'm in the lake and like photography. I had to take pictures of it all, so I was there all day, like just smelling like chocolate and like
Oh.
Hershey's as well. It was rank.
We do. This is random. Ours is called Biffa, and you basically fill up a sports sock with flour, and you like hit each other with it. It doesn't make any sense at all.
That is
I don't know what
bizarre.
the rules of the game are.
Probably
and then you
aren't
squirt
any.
whipped cream on each other's heads, and it's the same. You go in the lake,
Grim in it.
but then
like,
you find cream in your ear for
Like
days.
days, yeah, like it's like
So
we have
gross.
spaghetti as well, and you can like fight like
Oh,
gross. Like all
but
the,
how fun!
it is good fun. It's
Where else
grim.
can you wear your dinner on your head? Like
Literally
honestly,
nowhere else. Yeah.
it's so fun. Got off
Yeah.
on a little bit of a tangent there.
Yeah,
haven't
sorry, we have. Yeah, so camp. There you go.
Yeah, that's a day. Well, not a day at camp, but yeah,
like-
that just goes to show that no 2 days at camp
Yeah.
are ever the same.
I think as well, like every day is broken up.
Yeah.
Like, and not every day is the same. And like, I think, like you saying, we go on trips and stuff. Like most camps will have like a day trip or like a couple of night trips
Yeah, I
and
love
stuff like that.
trips.
Like, just so the kids don't get bored of doing the same stuff. Not
Yeah.
bored, but like that sounds wrong. But like, they get into a routine. Like, it's just to break up the routine, so
Yeah.
the time flies quicker.
What about Colour Wars?
I was gonna say a big thing that breaks it up
Yeah.
is like everyone calls it Colour Wars or
They
Olympics.
call it like a slightly different thing.
Yeah, so we have Olympics. That is 5 days of
Well, not
chaos.
always 5 days.
Well, like-
Mine's different. Every camp's
Every
different,
camp's
but
different,
most
yeah.
camps will have essentially a
couple of
Colour
days,
Wars.
yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
is-
go on,
what
you
is it?
tell us about your Colour
No,
Wars.
go on, you go first.
Okay, so I think I can explain it in like terms of
In a
you haven't been
generic
to
term,
camp.
yeah.
So it's kind of like a sports day, would you say?
Yeah.
It's like a long
Yeah, it is, yeah.
sports day. So essentially, camp is split up into teams. Usually, you can see the teams by colour. So
Yeah.
that's what I think it's like sports day. So it'll
Yeah,
be like
you're in like houses.
if
but,
you're
like,
on like orange, you'll just dress completely in orange for those days.
Yeah.
And then you literally like they say like you bleed your colours for those days,
Oh,
but like
mate.
the spirit for the team you are on is insane.
Insane.
It's like nothing
Insane.
you've ever seen. Like I remember painting my entire body blue. Like
Yeah.
last year I was a purple crayon.
Yeah, you were. Did you see that? So we do Olympics, so we do it
Yeah.
slightly different. So we have 3 teams. We're green and white.
Yeah.
Our colours. We've got team green and white, and team white.
Yeah.
But they're always different countries. So last year it was white were the Netherlands, green were Jamaica, and green and white were Portugal.
Yeah.
So I was like captain of team Portugal, and we won.
You won Colour Wars.
Yeah,
Sorry,
won
I was really
Olympics.
slow in
Yeah,
my
really
reaction
slow,
there. I think
thank
I was
you.
processing because I've never actually won Colour
Yeah,
Wars.
so I was like in charge of the team basically.
Yeah, that's a big honour.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, also never got to do that either
Oh,
in my
gutted for
5
you.
years at camp.
Yeah, so I in my second summer was Olympic captain for the winning team of
Wow.
Portugal. But yeah, like
Wow, that's huge. You should put that on your CV.
I might do.
I mean, if there's any returners listening, if you've
yeah.
been an advisor or like a captain or something,
Yeah.
that's pretty big.
I was in charge of a third of camp.
Wow.
That's like and like councillors as well.
You must be cool.
I'm cool on camp.
Mm,
Yeah, I am on camp. I'm trendy, mate.
On
Trendy
camp.
Wendy. But no, like the spirit for that is insane. Like you wear like I was gonna say I painted my face the Portugal colours. Like I literally had the Portugal flag on my
It's
face.
so intense.
I mean, it was horrible. I don't know if I'm allergic to face paint or not, but yeah, like you dress up in different
so
colours.
much
Like
fun. And you do like competitions.
Yeah.
It's like so we do like big relay races
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
so like basically the normal camp routine will stop for the amount of days
Yeah.
that it is Colour Wars, and you'll like just compete for these amount of days.
Yeah.
And the kids take it
So
so seriously.
seriously.
I mean, you take it so seriously. Like, if there's one thing I can say, your first year at camp, like, throw yourself into Colour Wars.
I was
Like,
gonna say
you won't regret it.
yeah.
Like, it's the best time you'll ever have at camp. It's
you have like
incredible.
chance, like
cheering, the cheers.
Oh, brilliant! Like that's.
You lose your voice. I can't speak at the end of
I
Colors.
couldn't speak after the end of the day. Where I was like, "Yeah, come
Yeah.
on, hold you up."
I barely made it through like
Yeah.
breakout as you call it.
Breakout.
Yeah,
Wow.
we call it wake up in my camp,
That's a good
but
one.
because it's in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So like that's like traditions at camp are all different. Every camp has some
Every
different
camp is
traditions.
different. How do you break out your colour wars? Is it
Different ways. Like really.
yours is always different? See,
Yeah.
mine's always the same. It's like traditional.
Yeah.
I can't tell you guys the secrets, but
So-
it's really, really lovely.
Yeah.
But they basically none of the kids at every camp, I'm pretty sure, the kids don't know when Colour Wars is going to be. So it's a big secret.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
So
you
then-
can work it out, but like,
So they always do I guess essentially a breakout or something where they tell the kids.
So we
that's
have a
what it
fake
is.
out. So it's like a fake breakout.
Where they pretend that it's
where
Colour
they
Wars.
pretend and then it's like, oh, it's not, and then it's
Yeah.
usually the next day or like the next hour or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first summer it was like same as you, middle of the night, big bell rings, and we all run down. It was like literally like 5 a.m. I was like, oh, God's sake. But we run down to the cookout slope, and like there's a massive fake igloo. There's snow everywhere on the ground. There's 3 reindeers, like real life reindeers.
Yeah.
And then a big monster truck, just like with ice cream van style, comes down like doing donuts on our field. The baseball fields were ruined after that.
That's
then
crazy.
the owners of the camp come in like an ice cream van, like chucking out like ice creams left, right, and centre, like hot chocolate. And the theme was
Wow.
Winter Wonderland. Everyone's dressed up as penguins and stuff, like all the head counsellors and
That's
whatnot.
insane. What about our friend that
Oh,
does
yeah, so
have you got
Somebody
that
who works it.
story?
I've got the story. Yeah. So obviously camp traditions are all different. So this camp, can we say it? No, we won't say it.
No, don't say
'Cause
the
in
camp.
case
We're
you're
all
going there,
anonymous here. It's
apart
really
from-
hard for us to
apart
keep
from ours, like,
secrets.
Ours aren't really that anonymous.
We're not, yeah, why aren't we anonymous?
I don't know.
You all know who we are now.
Yeah,
so
everyone knows. Yeah,
Everyone knows.
But someone we were really good friends with who used to work in our office emailed us in about his camp traditions. So he sent us a couple. So he said, our first tradition is shirt drop, where camp t-shirts are passed from older campers and counsellors to younger campers. These t-shirts are usually from Colour War and have the person's name and Colour War position on the back. The most sought after are general shirts, and some campers have shirts that are 15 to 20 years old.
Wow.
So that's like a really nice
tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think what we haven't spoken about yet that a lot of people don't know if they've never been is a lot of our campers' parents have also been to camp.
Yeah.
So camp's been going on for a long time, and these traditions are literally being passed down from generation to generation.
Like you saying, like me being Olympic captain,
yeah.
it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is actually a pretty big deal.
It is
like
a big deal.
you've got to be not just like captain, but like we have counsellor captains as well.
Yeah.
And like they've been going to camp since they were like 8, 9.
Yeah,
and they're now 17,
It's
16.
all they've ever dreamed of.
And if they're Olympic captain, it's like the biggest thing. And if they win as well, it's like
Huge,
it's crazy. But yeah.
Huge. Oh, that's so lovely.
So then we've got another tradition from this from our friend.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds really weird saying that because I know exactly what it is. So our second tradition is the jacket. So he used to talk about this all the time.
Yeah, he always
Like,
used to tell. I love this.
This is a really good
Yeah.
one. It's an old varsity baseball jacket that has been passed down from a counsellor to a camper in their final year at camp. That camper keeps the jacket for 2 years and then drops it on another camper. So it's called like dropping a jacket. I remember him saying it. Each person that gets a jacket takes a piece, and so the original jacket is now held together by safety pins and only worn on special occasions. A new jacket was made as a replica and is the one that is typically worn at camp.
That's
So
incredible.
God knows.
I'd love to see the jacket. Like, I've never seen a photo of it.
No,
but
I
it's
can
like
imagine just like
just like
one piece of
pieces.
material like stapled together.
That's so
That's brilliant.
cool.
That's really
Yeah,
that's
because they get it when they're a camper, and then they keep
Keep
it until
it to
they're
a
a counsellor,
counsellor.
and then pass it to. Because a lot of campers come back as counsellors.
as counsellors. They're called like LTs or FC, like JC, whatever they call
JCs,
like
junior counsellors,
See, I was a-
CITs, counsellors in training.
yeah LTs, leaders and trainees.
Yeah.
Leaders and training. I can't remember.
Wow.
And
love
we've got
that.
one more tradition from our friend. Is Cav initiation. Instantly sounds bad, but I'm sure it's
Yeah.
okay.
Wow.
The oldest 2 divisions on boys' side are known as Popeyes. Lovely restaurant.
Yeah, Popeyes.
Not
wow.
restaurant, a fast food chain.
It's KFC.
Chicken shop,
essentially. Yeah.
And they have some chants and songs that you only learn the words to when you become a Popeye. On the last night of camp, the Cavs, the division that will become Popeyes next summer, are taken up to the Popeyes bunks to learn the songs and traditions so that they can continue them the following summer. So that is really lovely.
That's so nice.
That's like one of those things. It's like you wait all this time
Yeah.
to be a Popeye or whatever, like, and then you get bought into it, and like it is an initiation, but in a nice way, not like
Imagine how privileged you must feel if you're one of the oldest kids counsellors and you become part of that.
Yeah, it must be
like
lovely.
some of my friends have been like oldest kids counsellors, and they've got to join in all these traditions, and like they become so close to the kids because to these kids, especially the oldest kids at camp, these traditions mean so much, and then you go there and become a part.
I was gonna say these kids literally say they live 10 for 2.
Yeah.
It's like they live 10 months throughout the winter and like throughout the autumn and spring for these 2 months of summer.
Yeah,
and I think that
so much.
proves like how much camp means to them. And like these traditions are just sort of, they're part of the furniture now, aren't they? Like, and the like another tradition that we have during Olympics is someone makes an Olympic plaque. So for whatever country it is, they'll make a huge plaque, like they'll paint it, someone will design it,
like,
we and then
did this, I think.
in the dining hall they keep 5 years of them. So my plaque from my first summer is in there
up,
and the one from this summer, like my team, and it's like that is going to go down, and like they're literally there from like
do you
1950.
You still have them all? Because we do. We have like a room where you can go and you can see plaques that go all the way back.
So they're all round camp. They're like in different like locations in camps, like dining hall, the main hall, like loads of different places. Like, and it's just really nice. But like, speaking of plaques, actually, another tradition is like, do you have bunk plaques?
What, like from who was in the bunk that year? Yeah.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Ours is really cool. I think I've showed you a picture of this before, but so the oldest girls at my camp sleep in a cabin all together. So the whole age group sleeps in one cabin. There's about 40 girls in this cabin. And they sign the walls of the cabin, and there is not 1 inch of this cabin that isn't covered in like graffiti, but signings.
That's sick.
And the signings in there go back for years and years and years, and it's insane. Every little thing is signed. Like there's things hanging from the walls. There's pictures on the walls in black and white film. There's like things they've stolen as campers in there. It's so incredible. There's so much history in this one cabin.
That's like that's
amazing.
Really cool.
It's really cool. But when you go in, oh my gosh, if you're a counsellor in there, I'll show you a picture later. But when you go in there, if you're a counsellor for your first summer, it is a bit of a shock. Like it's like a lot. Like every inch is covered in pen. But
wow, that's
cool.
And
you can't sign over anybody's name. Like it's you have to find somewhere.
Space,
yeah.
That was like ours every year. We have to make a bunk plaque. Yeah. So for like the kids in the bunk, they come up with like it'll be something funny that happened, or like my kids always used to play basketball, so it'd be like the Dunkers, like Bunk 8 Dunkers, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and then someone designs a plaque. It's only like a little one, but design a plaque, put a hook in it. Everyone usually like writes a secret message on the back, and then they all get hung up like at the start of camp. So, but like for like Bunk 8, for example, so like this year's Bunk 8 will design one, and it will have like last year's, year before. But it'll be like random ones from like 60s, 70s, 50s, like
so cool.
And it's like you can just see how different, like how much history the camp has, and like obviously not every camp is the same. I know we keep stressing that, but like it's really important. Like,
but I think at every camp there's still a lot of this
history and tradition,
built
like,
on history and like and I think a big thing about this is literally that you're part of something bigger. Like the impact you're having at camp is lasting on these.
You're not just passing through
and on camp. You're becoming part of something and having an impact. And I think that's what you can take away from all these traditions, is that you're having such a big impact. And even at activities, everything you do at camp is having an impact on these people's lives and like camp.
And also on yourself.
You
won't realize how much you take it for granted until you leave. During camp, like, what is it they say? Every day goes really slow, but the weeks go by fast. That literally that is such a true statement. Like, the days can be quite tough, and like you'll have your crap days and you have your good days. Like the same in like
it's hard work. It is hard work.
You've just got to remember, like, at the end of it, how grateful you'll be and how thankful you'll be for like doing it. And like
it really is life changing.
And you're gutted when you got to say goodbye. That's the hardest part, is like
leaving is I get really sad about a week before I have to leave camp, because I get a feeling in my stomach that I'm going to have to go through it.
But this is why they do these traditions, so these kids don't want to, like, they're not waiting to leave, because they know that usually this week, like the last couple of weeks at camp, are just gonna be full on. Like,
they're so full on,
so
especially
many
towards the end. It gets really full on.
Just because they don't want the kids to be upset they're leaving.
No.
Almost like,
But
So,
it's so sad that
Yeah.
last day.
saying goodbye. I didn't really get to
Same
experience
here.
it this year because I was a bus counsellor, so I was on the first bus out of there to Long Island. So
That's sad.
me and Matt just got chucked on the bus, like waved at everyone through the window and just sat there. But I was with like some of the kids that I
Yeah.
had, like looked after and stuff, and like some of the older kids as well. So it was a good laugh. Like,
Yeah, that is nice.
but yeah, it was saying goodbye to them was like quite sad as well. Like, I was
It's
like, oh,
really sad.
I was like, well, I didn't even.
always
They weren't even like
cry.
my kids, but I was like, oh, like, bye. See
It's
you
like
next year.
it's like when that, you know, the camper you get when they get off the bus their first week and they're really nervous and they cry the whole week first week because they're homesick, they don't want to be at camp, and then they come up to you on the last day of camp and give you a hug crying because they don't want to leave.
yeah, that's
That
literally
it
it,
gets
isn't
me
it?
every time.
Yeah,
It
and then
really
they're like,
gets me.
see you next year, and you're like, well,
And yeah,
I
when
don't
they
know if
say
you
see you
will.
next
and you're
year,
like, I really want to come back, but I don't know if I can.
then
And
you have
I'm
to
there,
go back.
I'm there. Yeah, I'm like, fine, you've convinced me. Twist my arm.
yeah.
But yeah, so like that's pretty much it for
Yeah,
us.
that's,
Like, so
that's camp.
what have we spoken about today then, Zoe? Do you want to round up for us?
Yeah, so lots of fun activities.
Mm-hmm.
The Jonas Brothers aren't at camp. We've established that
They
right
might
at the
be
start.
though.
They
The
might
future
be.
Jonas Brothers.
They might be at camp.
You might find them in the theatre or in the music
Go
room,
see
studio.
Joe's performance of Shrek. That sounded good.
That is so good.
Yeah, lots of crazy traditions,
Yeah.
and make sure you take lots of primary coloured t-shirts for colour wars.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week. Thanks for listening to us.
Yeah, thanks for listening to us ramble on.
Yeah, rambling again. We like to go off on a tangent.
We
I'm
do.
doing it again.
Yeah,
We're trying to round
right,
up.
round up. Yeah, thanks for listening. Don't forget to send
Send
us
us your stories. Yeah, what's our email?
our email is podcast@campamerica.co.uk.
Yes.
What was our email, Zoe?
podcast@campamerica.co.uk.
Thanks. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
send us
perfect.
some cool stories. We
Yeah.
love to hear your crazy stories.
Anything.
You have. Yeah, we read through them all. So.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And we get to knows.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
see you next week.
Have a lovely week.
Bye.
Bye.